And good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Digital Dragon 3D. How's it going, everyone? Hope everyone's having a great day. Welcome in, Jedi Spidey, Icarus, Maker Viking. How's it going? Yeah, Spidey, how's your book feeling? Mine's mine's doing a lot better. You know, not getting printers in for a while helps. Slowly getting better. Good, good. Hey, Tinkering Techie, how's it going? Welcome on in. Welcome on in. So I know Spidey knows this because I pinged him a little bit earlier, but we got in some more filaments today. Actually, over the last 2 days, some more colors in the Bamboo Basic and Bamboo Matte refills. So if you haven't, go over and check out the store page and see the new colors that we have. You'll also see listings there for TD or for the Cheedy printers. Just to let you know what's coming in. We're still waiting for the response with the invoice so that we can pay it and get it actually shipping and getting them in here. But we are going to order some of the Q2C, the Q2, and the Max 4. So we'll be getting a bunch of new printers in soon. Working on Tinker Atlas. Well, that's good, Maker Viking. That's good. We all have our passion. You know, I'm sitting in the middle of one of mine right now. So yeah, massage therapy today. Felt good afterwards. Nice. Yeah, I get. I think it's next Monday. I go in for a massage. Pretty nice. It's a 2-hour massage. The chances are I won't be moving that well afterwards. 2 hours. I'll partly be asleep and then I'll partly be sore. It's all good. You saw a message before it came on stream. Nice. So yeah, we're going to be taking a look at our latest build here, which was the Delta Flyer. Oh, let me go ahead and pull you all out some. Close. See the whole printer. Go. Got the whole printer there. We've got our stickers from Rolahan Design and West 3D on here. So I have to find a decent place for the Victory Tech one. It might go on the back side here because I don't want to cover up over the window. I'm trying to keep them down here where they're over the printed parts. But there she is. And we've been printing a few things. We've done some test prints. We did the Rolo Cube. We've done a couple of the Veron cubes. And other than some stringing in the top, right, we'll see some weird buggering effects on here. Yeah. Don't do scarf joints on a square object. Let's just turn off scarf joints. Very different term. Turn off scarf joints. So this is a Polymaker, what is this, matte, not matte, but Stone Blue, which is basically, it's like a matte filament. And you only get an hour. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I will just say I have built up plenty of sessions. So I can do 2 hours, 90 hours. And hey, Wix Central. Hey, Free Heathen Workshop. How are you doing? You're doing well. Let me pop chat out over here. Okay, now I get both of my So, oh, Maker Viking with 3-stream watch. Nice. Fighting with 5-stream watch. Awesome. You guys. Probably move the mic depending on how you move. It gets muffled. Yeah, I know Viking. Trying to, let's see if we can put it here and if it'll stay within range. Is that better? Yeah, so I'm just gonna get a print started. Let's, for lack of nothing, reprint a cube. And then does anybody have, touches your neck and it blows a sound? Yeah, that could be. That very well could be. So does anybody have a suggestion for a model that we can print? I'm going to get started on a Voron cube. It's like 30 minutes. We have some time, but if anybody has a suggestion for for something to print, let me know. Let me know. Hey, Zombie, how's it going? An egg. Got a very, very small build volume here. I'm not sure if I can get both halves of an egg on. I have to do it separate. And I'm still working on dialing it. Print. So as I was saying, the left cube here, it's kind of zitty face. So this side had scarf joints turned. Ask me why. Just had it turned on. Don't do scarf joints on square flat surface. Kind of boogers the surface. Was without scarf joints. There's still some inconsistencies. I'm still trying to dial in flow and pressure advance and stuff. And of course, I have no real way of doing an automated input shaper on here. So we're gonna have to do some input shaping still on this. Excellent idea. Yep. There you go, Jedi Spidey. There you go. So we do have a few other things that we'll work on tonight while this is printing, but jack? Do I have a jack? I don't know if I have jack downloaded anymore. I might have to go find jack. Is it up on Thingiverse? I think you'd have to send me. Okay. Ooh. So I have a basic. Got a basic worker bot here. It's pretty fast. this. Not too bad. Doesn't reflect too. Try and keep it open just a little bit to let some of the air out. Yeah, we can try and do a bot here. Sorry about that. So yeah, a couple of the things that we wound up doing to get this up and running. I'm still not 100% sure if the issue is with the SD card that came in the kit. I am using a different SD card. There was a note that's at the end of the build manual for going in and modifying a file around the TR sync. I can't remember the full thing. It's in the manual. It's at the very end of the Klipper install manual. And I went in and made that modification. So what I wound up doing was completely redoing the install on a known good SD card. Immediately went into Kaya and removed Klipper screen and Crow's Nest because neither one are needed here. There's no Klipper screen and there's no camera. And then we went through and installed the firmware. And tried to do updates. Here's the issue. There's 206 or 207 updates that needed to happen. And it would go through and it was parsing all the updates and it would take an error on a weak SHA value when verifying or validating one of the updates, and it would stop. It would fail out. It would not update anything. Okay. The one that was hanging was Armbian-firmware. So there is a command that you can type to go in and say, hold this, as in do not update this particular patch. And as soon as I did that, I ran sudo apt update or upgrade again, and it updated all 206 items without an issue. Right? So between that TR sync and getting everything updated, she has started working fine. I had no more issues with the in-stops. Everything's been triggering fine since then. I was having weird issues too after doing the in-stop calibration with doing the initial bed calibration, where that was going really weird. And as soon as I got everything updated and got it over on that right or on a different card, everything seemed to work better because every point was going back up to 20. You had to come back down. Where it seemed like when we were doing it before on stream, it was going to different points as it moved to the different locations. The biggest thing built over bot is trying to figure out how to cut the filament. Or you got two things. You either cut the filament, in which case, how do you do a cut sequence? Because it would need to be up at the top and it would have to be very, very repeatable. Or tip forming and like standard MMU tip forming and maybe cut back at the the filament spool side. I'm sure it's possible. I'm not sure if it's feasible on a printer this size, because you're also going to lose build volume for your Purge Prime Tower. Yeah, it's going to be lots of extra movement, that's for sure. But yeah, this is just a cute little printer design. And what? You've got 3 extrusions, 3 linear rails. The carbon fiber rods, they literally give you enough to build 3 sets of effector rods. So I could theoretically measure and cut 3 more sets of extrusion and print a couple of these out, and a hot end, a couple fans, a BMG extruder, and some motors. I've got all that over there. I could do like a whole little fleet of these suckers. Hey, Diablo Spawn, how's it going? Yeah, you could definitely build a little fleet of these suckers. They're not that yeah, they're not that hard. Having the CB1 built into, like, physically built into the same board, so it's a monolithic board with the host and the MCU. We'll see. I mean, if the board's reliable, the board's reliable. The problem is as things progress, if you feel that the CB1, doesn't have enough juice to squeeze, you can't really update it very easily. Right? In fact, I don't think you can update it. I'm not even sure if you can bypass it and just run a Raspberry Pi on top of it. But yeah. But I hope everybody's having a great night. Oh, you can send the travel version for Heathen. That would be cool. Hey, Timor, how's it going? Hey, Waters, how's it going? Did you ever get that P1S put back together? Yeah, and that's the thing, Built Robot. Once the boards start going, they're just kind of a pain in the butt at that point. Yeah, it's fixed. I figured it out. Dropped off Clover at the train station because they can't ever be in town for one of your events. Exactly. Exactly. So Timor, yes, it is fixed. What I wound up doing was trying a different SD card, because this SD card that came with it, even though it was a 32 gig SanDisk Ultra, right? It was telling me that it was like I was getting disk full errors when it was trying to download updates, which was really, really weird. So I just grabbed a different SD card, right? I don't even know, it might have been a 64 gig, and downloaded the software again, immediately logged in because I know it has Kaya on it, and took off Clipper Screen and Crow's Nest, updated everything, and then tried to update the system files, right? The OS, and it was failing. And so where it was failing was a weak SHA chuck value for Armbian dash firmware. So I just commented, or not commented, but told it to hold that old version and told it to upgrade again, and it did the other 206 upgrade. So that got done, and then everything started working like it should. And we printed off you know, we did a bunch of test prints on it. We printed off a Rolo cube. We printed off a couple, whatchamacallit, Voron cubes. We're doing another Voron cube right now just to have it printing while we're chatting. Free Heathen is going to send me something on Discord. I will download that and we'll get one of his plot files by the name of Jack going. And for to have to tell Discord to stop, otherwise it can background. Okay, and go ahead and get that sliced up. I just use the same basic settings. See if we have to. We don't even have to make them smaller. We're probably gonna need supports on them though, right, Free Heathen? Yep, support's good. Good. We need to check out. I haven't printed anything that requires supports yet, so we'll print something that requires supports. There we go. Yeah, not that many supports, and it's only like an hour. A little over an hour. But cool. I'll hop out for a bit. All right, Tinkering Techie, take it easy. Got some stuff to bring to me. Okay, you brought what? You sent three loads with Mrs. Dragon already. You got more stuff to bring. So we borrow a box turtle to try and print Giga Egg on the Optimus. Is it going to come back to me working? No, that's good for Heathen. We're good with this guy. We'll get him. We'll get Jack printed as soon as this is done. But here's the deal, Waters. If you want a box turtle, you have to come get it. So while we're printing this, we do have a little project that we need to do for the stealth changer, and that's the fact that our screen kind of gets hidden. It may still get hidden over here because it only comes out 20 millimeters, which would cover the buffer. Then we're still going to have clicky clack door, but this will be a lot better than this situation. So we're going to have to disassemble this and reassemble it over here so we can get it mounted up. So I figured we'd do this while we were chatting and watching the Delta go. Like I said, I love watching the Deltas. Oh, that's. And then we'll start assembling things for another printer. So we've got a brain swap for one of the FlashForge Creator Pro 2s that came in. We're going to do a brain swap from the FlashForge custom board, we'll go with that, to a BigTreeTech Manta M8P with TMC 2209s and a CB1 V2.2 module. Right thing, Luke. That is a button head. Do you think I can get an 8? I don't know. And quite honestly, I'm not into the whole speed benchy thing. And I kind of just want it to run and turn. I don't want to really bust it. We're going to get some kits of the Pico MMU. Okay. We can chat some waters. All right. So if everything's right, this is the correct size. I have no idea how this thing actually goes in here. Goes in from this way. Extremely tight on that cable too. This was kind of fiddly, but dang. Have to go on the bottom first? Maybe. You got one done on the Solvol Zero? Nice. Very nice. That's what I'm thinking. It'd have to go in the top first. This is a very tight fit. What I'm running into is the little push buttons, clearing the push buttons. There we go. It's doable, but iffy. Bust one. One good. One maybe not so good. Hopefully that one's not needed. See. Yeah, I mean it's possible to probably do one of those speed benchies on here. Like I said, I'm just not a massive speed benchy type person. We might see what we can push out. What's going on now? We're not lining up with the holes. Should be lining up with the holes. So you, one there. So this also had like a sacrificial layer for these particular screw holes, which are 2.5 millimeter screws. So where should have cleaned those out before I tried to jam in my screen. The good news is the button that I think I might have broken was just the brightness. So Bearded Printer, how's it going? Thank you for the raid of 24 people. That's great. Yeah, it's pretty cool watching these. Um, just watching deltas for some reason is really cool. And I've got a full sun, was it the SR Racer or whatever, that I picked up from Maker Mind Nexus out at Midwest Rep Rep Festival last year. I got that and a Prusa Mark III that's over with Evil Diesel. I think I picked up one from Dan and one from KB3D out at the show and took them home. So he has a couple of additional printers at his house now. So this will line up like that. Just keep this kind of flapping in the wind there. A couple of the MP3s. I'll have to grab a couple more. But yeah, the Super Racer was nice. I need to just get it, bring it down here, get it recalibrated once I get it down here, and just let it run. Because, like you said, it's going to be really cool. How's it going, Ramon? So yeah, Waters, you come down here to get a box turtle. I'll make note and put one in the car. Bring it back with me. I think there was something else I was supposed to bring with me today as well. Whatever it was, I have a feeling did not make it into the car. There's that. All right, I'm just grabbing a couple more screws. So we also got, let's see, we've got the Dreamer that we were working on for folks over at Ecovate. They transferred it over to me to let me take a look at it. And I think I figured out what the issue is. We just need to try and see if if a firmware update to the latest and greatest will solve the problem. But it appears that it is not micro stepping anymore. So, yeah. All right. So there we go. We've got our kind of extended screen mount. Like I said, this would work perfect if we were just running a clicky clack. But because we've got a door buffer, a 20 mil door buffer, and then the clicky clack, this is still going to be kind of under the door a bit, but this will help. And I love the we won't see that because they'll be under the door buffer, but that's kind of cool. Hey, Shrimp Father, how's it going? So that's one more piece done for the whatchamacallit. Wow. One more piece done for our stealth changer. I'll tell you, I've had it sitting over on the printer line, and it's almost right in line with the front door. And so it's pretty much the first thing that everybody sees, and they were like, "Oh, that is so awesome." I'm like, yep, that is one of my builds. So you put more boxes with the extrusions last time, and she only left with the extrusion. No, there's a couple of boxes sitting right over there as well. I think you forgot your memory at home. You know what? I probably did. I probably did. So my mother and brother-in-law came into town last night, so we've got that going on as well. So we've got family in town now. They'll be here for a couple of weeks because on Tuesday, so next Tuesday at 2 p.m., we have our ribbon cutting ceremony here at the store with the city. So yeah, we'll have the I think the mayor, or at least somebody from the mayor's office, somebody from the city council will be here. We'll have the Sanford Area Growth Alliance and Downtown Sanford Inc. will have representation here, as well as some of the other businesses in the local area will come out for that. That'll be kind of cool. The other things we're working on is just trying to get a new brain. Ooh, so fun. Uh-oh. Squeaker. Oh, squeaker's back. We got a squeaker. We'll set that up there. So we also got in a lovely new printer in for some repair work. We got a Trudon. Just any Trudon. Hey, Cruising Girl, how's it going? Welcome in. Welcome in, Raiders. So the Trudon is a version 1. If you're not aware, the Trudon is of the Vendio Trudon from Formbot. And in this case, the version 1 ran a Duet, I believe it's a Duet 2 Wi-Fi custom board, right? So it's so the Duet 2, I think, only had 5 drivers. They needed 7, so it was like a Duet 5 or a Duet 2 and a Duex joined together. So it's a custom RepRap firmware board. And it's having issues. Somebody has been inside of it working on it. So we're going to be trying to fix and or repair. Come on, you can do it, squeakers. All right, got a little bit of squeak. This is not for that one. This is for another board or another. This is going to be a rebranding of the FlashForge Creator 2 Pro, which, because we seem to be getting in boards and love boards that are custom, we're replacing this with a Big Tree Tech Manta M8P. So because we needed 6 drivers, we had to go with something that was 8 driver compatible. And this is actually a smaller overall footprint as well. We'll have the host board and everything on here. This is a STEM 32 board, so there's the possibility of putting Klipper on this. Just have no idea. There's no pin out for it. So we could probably, I may still play with this board, so I'll be honest with you. This is the board that came out of the second Creator Pro that came in, that something was wonky in the firmware and the X coordinates were reversed. Right? This is an IDEX printer, and instead of being like negative 136 something and positive 136 and change, the 0 being in the middle of the board, was 0 and 0 at both ends. So it was not printing in space correctly. So we took the other board, which funny enough had a serial number tag on it right here, which was working out of the one that we were going to rebrand anyhow, and put into it, bada bing, bada boom, it works, they're out the door. So this becomes a play board now. So we may actually try and put Klipper on this at some point, see what we can come up with. Because why not? Okay. Our cube has finished. And once again, a little bit of stringing. Like I said, I could probably do with drying that filament some. So we're still getting stringing at the top there. But overall, not bad. I think we're still extruding a little bit. And of course, everything looks good when you're looking at it like that. And then when you put it in the light, obtuse angle, start seeing layer ink. Now, looking at this, I may still, I did pressure advance, but I didn't do, was it the square corner one? And we haven't done any input shaping, and I think input shaping will clean this up a little bit more. Hey, thanks for the alert, Bearded Printer. I think input shaping will clear this up a little bit more. I don't know if that first layer is going. But let's get a jack going. We have a jack loaded. least a firmware error of some sort right at the end. Love that it flashes. Now, the other thing that I did, the controller fan is set to only kick on when a stepper motor is activated or a heater is activated, right? So either you heat up the bed, the hot end, or you move something, then the controller fan will come on and then go off at a specified period. And I felt like the H616 controller chip was getting hot. So I switched mine from a controller fan to a temperature fan. And while this is heating up and getting it sync started, let me go full display over here. Don't know why it's taking these. Oh, that was before. There's the firmware reset. Open the file and we're going. Well, keep an eye on that SD card error. But over here in our printer config, by the way, the clipper is dirty because of that TR sync change that we made. We update this, or if we quote unquote soft repair this, we'll have to go fix that or make that change again to get that TR sync timing error to go. But over here in printer config, I'm just going to kind of scroll down some. So in our fan section, we have the we have the main fan. We'll have the temperature fan of the controller fan. So you have the hot end fan. So this is where I made the changes at. So basically we kept the same pin. We changed it once again from a controller fan type to a temperature fan type. The pin stayed the same. The kickstart stayed the same. I increased the max power from 60% to 80%. The sensor type is temperature underscore host. You can do temperature underscore host or temperature underscore MCU. Temperature host is the H616. That is your SBC chip. Temperature MCU would be the RPi 2040 chip, which is the controller that's running like the stepper driver, right? The control type is watermark. Min temp is 10 degrees, max temp is 70, and the desired target temp is 50. That means it'll let it go above 50 and then cool it back down to a little bit below 50, and it'll try and keep it around 50 degrees Celsius. And you can play with the speed and everything to get to the right noise level that you're comfortable with. But yeah, that's how I set this up so that the H616 is not hitting a thermal issue, because it was getting well above 60 degrees Celsius, even with the heat sink on it. So just wanted to make sure that the CB1 had the best chance of not falling over and dying. Because once again, a 4010 fan is a lot cheaper than a new board, because if that H616 dies or cooks, you're replacing the board. There's no other option. Yeah, we'll go back and we'll keep an eye on this as it's printing. I feel like I can't open that door enough. Use a Rolo cube, that in place. Ooh. So yeah, we've got some fun stuff in. Like I said, we've got the Race 3D we still need to work on. We got all the parts, I think, to fix that and get it swapping nozzles back and forth now. That's a back burner because it's not a true repair. Got to get the Flash Forge Dreamer. Got to attempt to do the firmware update on that to solve that problem. And then the Trudon is just going to be fun. RepRap firmware is just one of those things I have to like remember how to do. It's not too hard. You just have to remember how to do it. And before I work on this, what I need to do is see if I think I've got a heat sink for that, because that will be needed. You cannot run these things without a heat sink, or at least you will not be running it long without a heat sink. Card, SD card, SD card. Oh, maybe we wind up putting that one back over there, and we'll use this one instead. Borrowed the Wi-Fi off of this one earlier today for the Trudon because its wireless cable was ripped out of the connector, this UFL connector, ripped out of that. I think I got that repaired, and then realized that it was cut in two halfway through the cable. So that was no bueno. Make sure you get these in the right direction. Also, make sure to peel off this little, whatever this stuff is. Captain tape. I mean, I know what it is, but you got to pull that little Kapton tape off. Have a bad day trying to get this thing to bolt down. What else is everyone up to? No, Waters is up to no good. Hey, Clown Hammer, how's it going? What's going on? Long time no see. Your excuse? Hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. All right, so we got that out of the way. line up our holes, kind of give it a little wiggle jiggle to make sure that it's lined up on those board to board connectors, and then seat it. Push down on both sides where those board connectors are so you make sure and get it seated nice. Another day, another ulcer. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Hey, Mad Al. Killer Dragon? Doing good. I'm doing good. And thanks for the raid, Mr. Excuse. Thank you for the raid. Coming in with 11 viewers. Yeah, we're just finalizing bake stuff so we can go do the idea former training. Oh yeah. And a ton of repairs. Yep. Yeah, so if you know anybody who's interested in a really good belt printer that's good size, Waters on here is getting ready to take over an idea former contract here in North Carolina. I had an option to join in that, but it's just timing wise, did not have the capital to partake. Maybe down the road I'll be able to buy into it. We'll see. But we do have several other things that are going on and in the works. Namely, some things like Ambrosia and Fabrico, and bringing in some of the Honey Badger lineup. So I still need to place those orders, start getting some of that stuff in. Big Jano, how's it going? Welcome, 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 good sir. I'm just trying to get a board, quote unquote, assembled. And get it ready. We're going to be doing a brain transplant on a FlashForge Creator Pro 2. And then we've also got, what do we also have? We're going to have some PDs coming in. Got some more bamboo filament colors in, so that's always cool. Oh, lots of cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff. Started printing a top half for the Solvol and going to add a Big Tree Tech HTM5 to it. Nice. Yes, Jano, it is printing. I did figure it out after last stream. What we wound up having to do, and I say we, what I did was tried a different SD card. And when I did the different SD card, after flashing it and turning it on for the first time, I SSH'd in and immediately went into Kaya and removed Clipper screen and crow's nest because they're not needed. We don't have a camera. We don't have a screen on this. And then I started working on a fix for the TR sync error that we were taking. Come to find out, it's a known error that was documented on the Discord and is in the final part of the Klipper install stuff. So we got that squared away. And then the next issue was trying to do updates. The system updates were failing. And come to find out, it was failing on the Armbian firmware package. Apparently, the SHA validation file was created with a weak cipher and it was failing. So I just told it to ignore that particular file and was able to update the other 206 packages. And from there, it was off to the races. After I did that, I had no more issues with the in-stop. It calibrated easier. The bed calibration or Z calibration went so much easier. Sorry about that, folks. So, yeah. And then we just been printing cubes and trying to dial in some filament profiles. Can you come to my house and do all that stuff as well? Because you want to just leave Discord for good. Well, I get that. Thanks for the follow, Aqua's Regime. Thanks, Technoside. Yeah, this is a really cool printer. So other than some of the issues we had, which I think is, one was that that Armbian firmware file not being good. And then two was the SD card, I think, potentially being bad out of the box. So we are running a different SD card than what came in the kit. Because, I just have SD cards laying all over the place. So that helped. And yeah, we got everything up and running, and she's just been printing. So yeah. Other than that, we're just chilling out. So right now we are assembling a Manta M8P with 6 TMC 2209s and a CB1 module. I mean, I should have screws for this, but apparently I don't. Those screws in the box or the kit. So I'm going to put this one back in. We're going to reuse one that I had that I already have a heat spreader on because I don't have a heat sink on the bench. So we'll save this one for another day. This is a CB1 as well, so we need the stock SD card. So I need one for that. We'll go ahead and we'll get this downloaded and updated, and we'll start building this one out. Like I said, this is going to be for a brain swap on a FlashForge Creator 2 IDEX. Then the Trudon that came in is going to be fun because that's a 400 by 400 by 500, and like I said, it uses a custom Duet card from that Formbot had done, and it's a Duet 2 and a Duet Deux, DUEX. kind of conjoined to make it a 7-driver board. That's why it's a custom board. So yeah, this didn't come out of the Trudon. The Trudon, so version 1, which is what I have, has the Duet boards. It's not True Duet. It's a Formbot custom Duet board, but it runs RepRap firmware with a Panel Do display. And it's booting, but the macros aren't being read. I think there's just some firmware kerfuffle going on. So, yeah, it's the Trudon that's running RepRap firmware. It's the one that AJ brought over. I was thinking it was I was told it was a Voron 350. It is a Trudon 400 by 400 by 500. She beastie, right? But we'll get her working. The newer versions, the version 2 of the Trudons, actually come with Big Tree Tech Octopus boards, but they may actually be modified versions of it as well, from what I heard. And there is a company by the name of Tiny Machines that has Clipper firmware that you can run on that Panel Do, or not the Panel Do, but on the on that board, on that RepRap board. So that might be something we look at as well. We're going to try and get the RepRap working. If it continues to be a pain in the tuchus, maybe we'll look at, I'll talk to the customer and see if they're wanting, or if they're willing to let me put Clipper on it. I mean, hell, I'll rebrand the whole thing if I have to. It's an oversized Voron. I've actually seen somebody that actually put an all-wheel drive kit on it, which isn't a bad idea because a 400 by 400, the length of the belts is just stupid crazy at that point. So if you run all-wheel drive, you effectively cut the belts in half, so they're a little over 200 millimeters between motors. So oh yeah, it is tinkering. But yeah, no, I've got it, Waters. It's just I've just been looking at it. You know me. Pop the bottom, look at the electronics, clean it up, figure out how many wires got yeeted or ripped or bent and broken, and then we go in and start fixing things. Hey Tony, how's it going? Hello from England. Well, welcome on in from England. What part of England? I was stationed over in Germany for 6 years and got a chance to go to RAF Alconbury, Jack Molesworth, Menwith Hill, and London once or twice. Hey John Doe, how's it going? Yeah, this flyer, I tell you what, it's really nice. And like I was saying, other than 3 extrusions, 3 linear rails, and the build plate, it's primarily printed parts, you know, and some motors. You know, I've got motors, I've got hot ends, I've got fans. I mean, I can cut a few extrusions. All I need is some linear rails and the build plate, and I can probably build like 7 or 8 of these just with parts I have sitting over here against the wall. Hey, Darth Gollum, how's it going? Welcome in. How many Stealth Changer tool heads could go under that Trudon? I did see in the Discord somebody did turn their Trudon into into some type of tool changer. I didn't really look into it too much. What are the store hours tomorrow? So Phantom store hours Tuesday through Saturday is 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then Sundays noon to 7 p.m. Mondays by appointment only. And I'm here Monday through, well, I'm here 7 days a week. So Monday through Friday, I'm sitting back here in the office, kind of right over there. working the day job. And then I come and hang out with you all to kind of decompress from that. So it's good that, you know, I get in there and I get really pissed off and frustrated at a meeting, and I can just come out here and print something, work on something. Speaking of working on something, I got some pictures that I need to post, but we're going to have to, we're going to let this print for a second, but I need to this all the way out. And I'm going to go get something and bring it over here. I'll be right back. I still have a few things to do on this. But I do want to show this off some. Did my camera freeze? Of course it does. Why wouldn't it? Over here, that's my head. Okay. About 45 inches long. I still have to do the all of the aircraft and stuff, but this is the Titan 3D aircraft carrier. Not kit, but print. One of my supports lifted off the bed. Yes, it did. We'll see if we can't get that fixed. Let me go sit this down and then I'll come back to chat. Kind of big and beastie. Okay. Yeah, one of the supports right here in the front lifted off the bed some. We'll see if we can't keep it held in place some. Leaving New Jersey tomorrow, debating if you're going to drive there to visit, then continue driving back to town. All right, Phantom. Love to have you if you can stop by, but you know, don't feel like if it's out of your way that you have to. Yeah, I still don't have a thing set up, so let's do it this way, right? Got that one there, bing bada boom. So there's the store address or the store website. See, can I pin that on both? Yes. There's a store website there pinned. Top of chat. And yeah. Our inventory system is live on the well, I say live on the website, but the web page pulls directly from our inventory system. So if you want to check out and see, one, the address is on the web page down very bottom, and then hit the the shop link and look around, see what you find. I believe the keys are showing on the website. I do not have the keys in at the moment. I'm literally waiting for an email so that I can make a wire transfer and get those on order and get them into. I want them to take my money. And the entire lower portion and the watch or the tower on the aircraft carrier was printed on the Cheetah. The only thing that was not printed on the Cheetah so far has been the upper deck with the striping, and I did that over on the H2D. I could do it on the Kitty because the Kitty has the Kitty box on it. I just did it on the H2D because more printers, prints faster. I was getting impatient. Some of those sections on the aircraft carrier are like 7.5, 8.5 hour prints. So 8.5 hour drive from there to or to 8.5 hour drive. Gotcha, Phantom. I know on opening day, KB3D Chris and Chris drove down from Twinsburg and surprised me. And I will say it was a surprise. I was not expecting them due to the weather and everything else. And when I saw them walking around the front of the building, I about fell out. Those two are good people. You need to pick up some FlashForge filters. Your 85M Pro ABS full printing machine is starting to get smelly. Yeah. What I tell you about filters? You need filters. See the Facebook post with the tall Centauri. Oh, are you talking about the Centauri 2 with the added plastic dome? I have to sweep the floor before I go home tonight so Mrs. Dragon doesn't kick my butt. Send it to me on Discord. Okay. Somebody custom wired one to make it larger. I mean, can. Yeah, can. All right. Speaking of things that we can do, one of the things we can do while we're sitting here is take this little cable right here, which is a Raspberry Pi 5 USB cable. We can plug it in right here and run power. So let me grab a non-suspect SD card. Do I have a non-suspect? Ooh, 64 gig. I want to put a 64 gig in there, but then again, I think the other ones I have over here are 128 gigs. So push comes to shove, it'll be a 64 gigger. Thought I had, let's see, 28 gig. 28 gig. Well, those aren't even SD cards. Those are Raspberry Pi 20Ws. Raspberry 02W. Say. Guess I need to go and order more SD cards. Yeah. I'm not going to put 128 gig card in there. Wouldn't mind, maybe. Alrighty, whoa. So once again, this is a CB1, so we'll need a CB1 image. And I'm going to grab the latest minimal CB1 image and get this installed while we wait. It's definitely a printer. Oh, I bet. The Bamboo Lexar micro SD cards aren't too bad, to be honest. Yeah, so like I said, I've got a bunch of 128 gig cards that I bought the last time I was at a Micro Center, because it was the only thing they had that was decently priced. By the way, it's a form of memory, and I don't know about you, but memory's gotten quite stupid lately. Minimal kernel. Yep. But yeah, all memory types have gotten stupid lately. So, looks like one of your support. Oh yeah. Yep, it got loose. It's all good. So stick our hands around the hot stuff. Why not? Um, hey, WebForce Design 3D. G'day, Spidey. What's up, brother? What's up? Do I have samples of anything printed with Epax filament? Well, technically, this was printed in an Epax neon green. It looks like dog doo doo because it wasn't fully tuned in yet, and I realized that I was running scarf joints on contour. So like that, this thing right here, these zits right here are from running scarf joints. So let me second. Oh, camera. Up it. Sorry, that camera is being stupid. So this, I believe, was solar flare transition filament. Yeah, we love Epax as well over there because Epax is local to us. Epax is based here in Morrisville, North Carolina. So been buying a bunch to test out. Speakers are, yes, and the speakers. So my speakers, these speakers here are printed in metallic red PET G. Now they don't, this was a test run. They're not making it. I am trying to get them to make me like a full batch, like 5 or 10 cases of it. That'll be exclusive to my store, but this is metallic red PET G and metallic gold PET G, and I do have the metallic gold. So yeah, we do have several things that are printed in the Epax. We really like the Epax here. So here's some more of that. Whoops. And different style infills for the coasters. Yeah, Mrs. Dragon's been trying to print a bunch of stuff in the EPAX filament because she really, really likes it a lot. Orange Dawn, there we go. Thank you, Eagle. Thought it was Solar Flare, but Orange Dawn, okay. Yes, those speakers were the ones that we printed and assembled late last year back at the house in Dragon Den 1.0. I know we've got other stuff, but Mrs. Dragon would definitely be the one that would be able to say, like, hey, this was printed in, you know. But we love EPAX here. Have I ever printed with push plastic? I want to say that I may have gotten a trial spool from one of the shows. Don't hold me to that, but I think I did. Okay, so this is now completed the flash, so I'm going to close Balana Etcher. The CB1, so we're going to unplug it, plug it back in because we have to go in and actually set our Wi-Fi credentials and stuff. I'll do that off screen. Be sure when you edit this stuff, edit it with Notepad++ or VS Code. If you edit it with Word or the standard text editor or Notepad or whatever, yeah, good luck when you reflash your board. It will add all kinds of characters that will not be. Post name, FF, Flashwords, creator, to time zone. // That's check that. Know Vim as an editor? You can if you're on a Linux box. I'm on a Windows box and I've got Mac. So if I was on the Mac, I would just, like nano it. But yeah, they make 25 kilo spools. That would be great for the Optimus. What does that 25 kilogram spool cost you? So we're going to load this in here. And I'll say, quite honestly, I cannot remember if this is a CB1 that has eMMC memory or not. And I do need put a jumper on the VUSB bus so I can power the whole board. Give us all of these jumpers, different sizes in it. So Make sure you find the right size that'll fit that particular jumper. Okay. Probably go through and pull every one of these back out and put the jumpers in for the TMC 2209s. Look up the there's a version 1, a version 1.1, and a version 2. This is a version 2 because it's brand new. But I just need to make sure which jumper I put in here. But you think it's only 500 to 550. That's great. Oh yeah, I'm very well aware of them. Very well aware of them. And waters, yeah, only 500 to 550. But thank you for the follow, Smoked Out. Waters plus shipping, which would be fun at 25 kilos. Your FedEx or UPS guy is going to love you. But yeah, how are you going to dry your filament? Just know that. How are you going to dry the filament? Because that, I mean, yeah, it's great. You can print for days, but you're going to need to dry that filament. I really wish they would stop doing red, like thin red line to outline something on black. The sad part is I know which jumper it needed to go on. I just second guessed myself. I do so many Victory Tech boards with 2209s. Good every once in a while because I don't know if I've used a 2.0 version of the board. They may have changed something. You never know. I'm going to go ahead and throw the jumper into all of them. And then we've got fan 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Heaters down here, fans up here. So fans. Good question. That thing have a 24-volt power supply? Even if it has a 24-volt power supply, does it do 5-volt for the fans? That's a good question too. We'll have to check that out, see if we can blow up some fans. I mean, not blow up fans. Yeah, especially when the two fans are on a like 8-pin connector that goes up to a breakout board at the top. So I'll have to take an extruder apart and look at the fan. Or dry it in a kiln at low power. Yeah. In the Optimus with the chamber heater, but you're going to lose print volume. If you do it in there, you'll lose print volume unless you, I mean, the cable on the chamber heater is big enough. You can create another chamber and you can create your own spool dryer right next to it. Agent Code HQ or Agent Cola HQ. You have a filament addiction. So you see that shelf back there in the back corner next to the door? That's ABS ASA. The one right over here behind the aircraft carrier next to the pole in the garbage can there, that's all the PLA and TPU that Mrs. Dragon gets to mess. And we've got at least 2 more racks at the house. All of that is mine. That's not store product that we sell. All of that is mine. And you can't see a bunch of it that's underneath that window over there. So I've probably got close to 400 or 500 spools of filament. So yeah, I got an addiction as well. Yeah, you need to create a spool chamber, and then you can take the heater out of the Optimus because it's pretty much useless in there unless you like, I don't know, figure out how to seal it and just put the chamber heater over there. Okay, so we got the UARTs put in place. We'll go ahead and put these back in. Why are you being you know what? Okay, so we got our 6 drivers back installed. We got the jumpers underneath them. There are jumpers in front that determine whether or not they're pulling standard power from the board or high voltage power. That'll be a 3-pin jumper right up above between the motor and the connector. Once again, it's black text on top of a black background. red text on top of a black background. So the guy with piss poor eyes can read it. Sorry, the guy with piss poor eyes and red green colorblind can actually the red text. So left two are high voltage, right is poured in. Okay. That's good. Okay. So once again, they're like this. You want to make sure you got your jumpers in the right place for voltage and stuff like that. You don't want to chance sending high voltage or higher voltage to a motor driver that can't handle it and it goes pop pop. Things can get expensive that way. Just bought from my site. Hope I like ePacks. I love supporting local companies. Well, thank you. Agent Cola, do you need it shipped or will you be coming by to pick it up? You need it shipped, I can ship it, no problem. I'll just have to, we'll gin up the shipping stuff and get it shipped to you. Unfortunately, my site, I'm still fighting with the integration gods at Odoo and the post office and UPS and FedEx and everybody else because, yeah, the shipping integration has just been a pain. Shipped, you filled it out on the website. Okay, cool. Cool. Pez Liz? Yeah, so key point is that ePacks tests all of their filament when they get a new color or type or batch brought in. They'll test it on their Bamboo X1C and P1S they have at their shop. They also like to use a Voron 2.4 to print Flexi Dragons and other things to show off color changes. So, hey Liz, how's it going? I have not moved my big dryer to the shop yet because the big dryer lives in Blackstack, which is the cart that's made to hold the dryer and the black box. The Race 3D is going great. It's sitting right over there with the aircraft carrier on top of it right now and all the parts to tear the tool head apart again and try and fix the servo that's not working are laid over there as well. So now that I've got the jumper for the USB power and the jumpers for the TMC 2209s for UART and the jumpers saying that it'll pull power, I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. And then make sure that it's plugged in and nobody's unplugged that. Because I am seeing 0 in the way of lights. Okay, why am I seeing 0 in the way of lights? What did I miss? Happy Tuesday, Liz. Yeah, it's sitting over there with the black box. At some point, I may bring the black box down here. But when it comes down here, it's pretty much going to have to live here because just moving that thing, the pain. Okay. Check CB1. Hold that down. We wrote thing. Set up Wi-Fi. Name, all that goodness. LMC firmware, that's great, but we still need to, how do we power the Pi from the USB? Powering on the M8P, the LED on the bottom left corner will light up to indicate normal power supply. USB jumper in the center for selecting power. It should only be shorted when powering the board via USB or supplying power out via USB. So we have it plugged in and set on VUSB. I'm not seeing any lights whatsoever, which is never a good sign. Is my power supply on and working? My power supply is on and working. Would be upset if I have a straight DOA board. Huh. All right. Well, I guess I will be working on this a little bit later. I don't think Pesla sleeps. I think she just sits in her chair, closes her eyes for about 30 minutes at some point throughout the day, and then gets back up. Ethan's back. Back again. He is back. Tell your friends. We are printing out a free heathen Jack robot. So just had a nap and a shower. There you go. Ready for the day. Ready for the day. I guess we can just see if we can ping it. call it? BFF Raider 2 Pro. Find the host. Still can't find the host. Okay, so something's not working right. Oh, that came off. Guess now we can see which version of our board we've got in there. All our holes are lining up, so that is definitely on right. There's a possibility. So there is a jumper right here that determines something with one of the cards. SOC card, that's for the MCU. Got the card in the right spot. Yeah, Taco Tuesday before Clover left for Charlotte. Well, that's cool. I'm glad that you had Taco Tuesday and that you're willing to share that experience with me, knowing that I was not there. I have words for that, but I'm going to try and keep it polite since we may have kids around. Gonna head out? Okay. Sounds good, Waters. Enjoy. All right, so what I'm trying to look at now is just make sure that this jumper on the board is set right for type of outbound enter. Because if it's not set right, it won't read the actual card. Da, 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 da. But anyhow, our Delta Flyer is rolling along. And as Liz, you missed it. I am going to post pictures though of the aircraft carrier. You're really going to like that one. That's a really cool print. So I'm going to have to post pictures of that. That one uses Sorry, I'm trying to look through the manual right now and just verify the see if there is a set position for that switch. I am not seeing it. Yeah, not seeing it. So let me see. We're gonna have to break out the grandpa eyes here. Go to 3x and see if I can't read the switch. Well, I mean, all we can do is flip the switch and see if that gives us lights. And if it doesn't, then that switch didn't help. And I am still not getting any lights. No activity lights whatsoever. Whoa. There goes the heat sink again. Really should find the screws that go onto this. Um, oh crap. We're gonna have to hold off on this. Like I said, our Delta Flyer is printing really well though. We're getting close to being done on this print. Thank you for sending us the file, Free Heathen. Yeah, I just really don't know what else to try here as to why this is not working right. Yep, I guess once that came off, it is definitely staying off now. Let's get a new little thing for it. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not even seeing the beginnings of a light. And this is a standard Raspberry Pi power supply. I'm sure I can plug in a Raspberry Pi right here and it will come up. I get a Raspberry Pi that uses a USB connector, that is. One that uses a USB-C, I should say. Or I'll just figure it out another day. How about that? We'll figure that one out another day as to why that's not coming. Because otherwise I'll get frustrated. And no need to get frustrated. We got our screen modded so that we can mount that back on the Stealth Changer. We've got a cool prank going on over here. Got awesome people in chat. So we'll take the wins where we got the wins. Take the wins where we have the wins. I hope everybody's having a great day. Yeah, y'all know this is going to bug me, right? One CB1 module. Pop that off. We'll go ahead and grab the new one, see if that makes a difference. Shouldn't, but you never know. Basically, we're waiting for the print to finish anyhow, so. Looks and feels like we've got a good connection. We'll connect the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi installed. Yeah, getting nothing. Getting yeah. Don't know. Don't know. Really weird. Plugged into the sock card. I should still get an activity light regardless. No motors plugged in. And I'm getting nothing. It's like there's no power coming into it. All right, we'll play with that after stream. We'll play with that after stream. I think we're getting close to being done on our print. Yep, we're 99% almost done. Did have a failed support. It was actually a failure of the support. How can I put this? The initial base of the support was not completely printed because this is a bone setup and I don't have like a line purge setup in Clipper yet. So it didn't have a full base, so it peeled off that base. Huh. I wonder if this may have been an Amazon return board. I am not seeing, I'm not necessarily seeing anything blown on the board. But there's some marking rubbing there. Flip that up. What is that? That almost looks like somebody arced. Somebody arced board. Somebody arced the positive terminal. But I'm not seeing anything wrong or anything that looks blown on the board though. And that looks like it would be between DCN and the ground. None of the caps look blown, none of the or bulged or anything, and none of the Fuses look tapped out. That does sure look like it arced there because it's on the lid and on these pieces. But you would think if it arced there that it would have messed, you would see something else in the plastic besides just that. I don't know. I'll look at it afterward. Let's pop our little guy off, or jack. Flow is still a little high, meaning my flow rate's still a little high and my settings on the supports should have made them pop off pretty easy. This is still taking a little bit. Grab some snips to make it a little bit easier to remove this. Difficulty with these supports has nothing to do with the model. This is my current profile settings. Like I said, I need to tweak on this profile a bit. All right. One, Free Heathen Workshop Jack Robot ready for travel. Over to Smurf. Free Heathen Workshop down there. Came out with some pretty good detail. A little bit more tweaking on that profile setting, and we'll get a little bit better on this. we'll get a little bit better on this, especially on the support interfaces. But a little minor cleanup here and there. And we got a Jackbot ready for a night out at Smurf. He's going to sit right up there. That will got Jackbot with his duckies. Yeah, now I can check alignment, supports, and overhangs. Yep. Now we get to test things. That is true. But that's what we do with every new printer, right? We start printing with it, then we start tuning it, and we make it better. There we go. Jackbot duckies. And with that, folks, I think we're going to go ahead and call the stream for now. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and call the stream. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We're going to continue to print with this printer. We'll be getting back to another project here on Thursday. Yeah, today is Tuesday. Thursday, we'll get back to a different project. Hopefully, we'll be back over on the StealthChanger. And everybody, please have a great night. It is Thursday night, Tuesday night. Let me take a quick gander at Twitch and see who we can possibly raid into tonight. Maybe up and running. There's a Jano up and running. So that sounds like a perfect place to go. So let's set up a raid to Big Jano. And yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Come along for the raid. If you're over on Twitch, if you're over on YouTube, yeah, stream will just end. But thank you for everybody that joined in on both platforms. I really do appreciate getting the coverage on both platforms now. And everybody have a great evening. I will see you all Thursday. Bye now.